This is you, flat against cold ceramic tile, cheek pressed to the floor of Châtelet Station, Paris. The air smells like burning rubber, cordite, and blood. 3 feet to your left, a woman is crying without sound, mouth open, hands clutching a shattered phone. Somewhere behind the turnstiles, a man in a black vest is screaming into a radio in Arabic accented French, and you can hear the distinct clatter of a Kalashnikov being racked. You have 1 magazine left. Your backup is dead. And the primary target just walked through the door carrying what looks like a remote detonator. You have 17 civilians between you and him. You do not move. Not yet. But the story really began 41 minutes ago. 6:14 hours. Tuesday, Rue de Rivoli. You are Lieutenant Mathieu Renard, GIGN Groupe d'Intervention de la Gendarmerie Nationale, France's most elite counterterrorism unit. 12 years in, Afghanistan, Mali, 2 classified hostage recoveries in Lebanon that never made the news. You've been called a lot of things in your career: patient, precise, dangerous. This morning, you're just a man in civilian clothes riding the Metro to a mandatory psych evaluation your commander ordered after the Marseille op last spring, the one where you put 4 rounds into a man who turned out to be holding a detonator, not a weapon, where the building came down anyway, where Sergeant Jan Duchamp, whom everyone called Canard because of the way he waddled in full kit, died in the rubble with your name on his lips. You haven't slept more than 3 hours at a stretch since. The train rattles into Châtelet-Les Halles. You're standing near the center doors, one hand on the rail, the other in your jacket pocket, wrapped around your personal Sig Sauer P226. Muscle memory. Then the lights go out. The emergency lamps flicker on. Half a second later, weak amber strips that turn everything the color of old bruises. Then the explosion. Not massive, shaped, tactical. The kind that takes out the communications relay box above the platform entrance. Not people. A suppression charge. Whoever planned this knows what they're doing. The screaming starts immediately. Your brain shifts gears before conscious thought catches up. You drop to a crouch. Scan the car. 40, maybe 45 civilians, mostly commuters, a school group at the far end, a cluster of tourists near the doors. You identify 3 armed men moving onto the platform from the eastern stairwell, black tactical vests. No insignia, AK pattern rifles, 2 of them. The third carrying a SPAS, 1-2 shotgun slung and a handgun drawn. 3 visible, probably more you can't see. You press yourself into the gap between seats. You do not draw yet, not yet. You count. Draw. Let them commit to their positions. Let them think they own the space. They do. One moves to the platform gate. One forces the driver's cab. The third shotgun carrier starts walking the platform with his handgun up, barking orders in French with a thick Maghrebi accent. People drop, crying, gasping. A child wails somewhere behind you. You stay low, move along the interior of the car toward the rear door, slow, controlled, invisible. You identify your backup, a young cop in uniform near the platform pillar who has frozen completely, hand on his holster but not drawing. Rookie. He's gonna get himself killed if he tries anything. You need to reach him before he does something stupid. You slip through the rear door of the train. The platform air hits you colder, reeking of smoke and hot wiring. You press against the train's flank and move. 4 meters. 6. The rookie cop is 8 meters ahead. Back to the pillar, chest heaving. You reach him, grab his collar, pull him close. You breathe directly into his ear. Don't draw. Don't speak. Follow my lead exactly or people die. Nod. He nods. His name tag reads Moreau. His hands are shaking, but his eyes stabilize. How many entrances sealed? You whisper. Bomb took out the north and east relays. No signal underground. No one topside knows yet. 41 minutes before the RER system's automated failure protocol triggers a full lockdown and surfaces an alert. 41 minutes before backup arrives. 41 minutes in hell. The first gunshot comes 9 minutes in. A businessman tries to run. The man at the gate fires once into the ceiling. Warning shot. But in the confined tunnel space, the sound is catastrophic, shattering. 3 people faint. The school group, you count 14 children, maybe 10 to 12 years old, presses together in a terrified knot near the far wall. That's when you see the 4th man emerge from the maintenance corridor. He's different. Calm where the others are aggressive. Older. Moving with a deliberate economy of someone trained, not radicalized. He's carrying a hard case in his left hand and a radio in his right, and he surveys the platform the way you'd survey a site, not a hostage situation. This isn't a ransom operation. The case. The remote, you'll see later. This is a detonation event. They're not here to negotiate. They're here to document and detonate maximum civilian casualties. Maximum horror. Filmed for broadcast. The hostages aren't leverage. They're the target. Merde. You whisper to Moreau, that man is the primary. Everyone else is protection. He goes down and this ends, or the vest he's wearing goes up and it ends worse. I need a clean angle. I need you to create a distraction. Non-lethal, non-obvious. Can you do that? Moreau swallows, nods again. He reaches slow into his pocket and produces his phone cracked screen. Still no signal, but the camera flash still works. Smart kid. The next 18 minutes are a masterclass in controlled terror. You move through the underbelly of the station maintenance access, a crawl tunnel that runs parallel to the platform while Moreau positions himself. The air in the tunnel is thick with old grease, and something accurate that makes your eyes water. You're moving on elbows and knees, SIG in your right hand. Every movement, deliberate, silent. It tells you you're still in the fight. Through a grated vent 3 meters ahead, you get your first clean look at the full picture. 4 hostage takers total. The primary, you start calling him Veste Noir, Black Vest, is setting up a camera on a small tripod facing the school group. The 2 AK men are flanking the main cluster of adult hostages. Shotgun is pacing. You count angles. You count reload windows. You build the sequence in your head the way your instructors at Sattery drilled into you 1,000 times. Identify, prioritize, sequence, execute. Your problem? 3 protected shooters, 40 civilians in the kill zone, and a primary holding what appears to be a dead man's switch detonator. If he drops, it detonates. If you take the others first, he detonates deliberately. You need him last, but he needs to not see it coming. The sequence has one solution, and it is nearly impossible. Nearly. Moreau's flash goes off. The platform erupts. 3 heads snap toward the pillar. 1 AK man raises his weapon. Veste Noir spins, and in spinning, turns his back to the vent. You're already moving. The grate comes out in one practiced shove. You roll onto the platform behind a maintenance pillar, come up in a weaver stance, and fire twice. The shotgun man drops before he completes his turn. 2 rounds, center mass, no hesitation. The sound is enormous, flat, final. The 2 AK men bring their weapons up. Civilians scatter, screaming. You're already behind the pillar, moving again, using the chaos as cover. 1 AK man fires a long, panicking burst that sparks off the tile 2 meters to your right. You feel the air pressure of a round past your ear like a slap. You drop low, roll left, come up behind a parked maintenance cart, fire twice at the muzzle flash. 1 hits. The 2nd AK man stumbles, returns fire, clips the cart hard enough to spin it. Metal shrapnel opens a thin line across your forearm. Hot, sharp, you ignore it. Moreau brave, stupid, wonderful. Moreau draws his service weapon and fires 1 shot at the wounded AK man. It misses, but it forces him behind a pillar, which pins him, which is enough. You don't look at him again. Your eyes are already locked on Veste Noir. He's standing in the center of the platform, camera abandoned, detonator raised. His eyes find yours across 30 meters of screaming, bleeding chaos, and they are utterly, terrifyingly calm. He smiles. His thumb moves toward the switch. This is the moment you've been building every second for. You do not fire at him. You fire at the camera tripod 1 round, precisely place the crack of it collapsing, spins him left by reflex, an involuntary flinch. The detonator hand drops 6 inches. You're already moving. Full sprint. 30 meters. Feels like a kilometer. He recovers faster than you expect, raises the detonator, and you cover the last 8 meters in a dive, crashing into him shoulder first, both of you going down hard onto the platform tile. The detonator bounces from his hand, skitters, stops against the base of a bench 3 meters away. He's trained. He gets an elbow into your jaw before you can secure the arm. Your vision whites out for half a second. You grab his wrist, his throat. You bring your forehead down into his nose. Once, the crack is wet and immediate. He shouts. His free hand claws at your eyes. You turn your face, take it across the cheek, fire a short punch into his solar plexus. He folds. You're on your feet before he's finished folding, boot coming down on the wrist of his detonator hand, other hand finding the back of his collar, dragging him forward, face down onto the tile. GIGN. Ne bougez plus. Do not move. The wounded AK man limps out from behind the pillar with his hands raised. Moreau has his weapon on him. The platform goes quiet. Not peaceful, not safe, but quiet. The kind of quiet that follows catastrophe, that settles over a place after terrible things have finished happening and the living don't yet know what to do with the silence. You sit on the platform floor, forearm bleeding into your palm, jaw already swelling. 2 dead, 1 in custody, 43 civilians alive. The school group, all 14 children, are being walked to the north exit. by a teacher who is holding it together magnificently. You watch them go. A small girl, maybe 9, turns back at the top of the stairs and looks at you directly across the platform. She doesn't smile, doesn't wave, just looks. The way children look at things they don't have the language for yet. Then she's gone. Backup floods, and 6 minutes later. Lights, radios, boots, the clinical machinery of aftermath. Your commander finds you, still sitting on the floor. He crouches in front of you, looks at your face, looks at the forearm, looks at the detonator, still lying against the bench leg, inert, waiting to be bagged. Renard, he says quietly, the psych eval. You look up at him. I'm gonna need a reschedule, you say. He almost smiles. Almost. They'll write it up as a successful interdiction. 43 civilians preserved. Primary suspect in custody. Threat neutralized. They won't write about Moreau shaking so hard he could barely sign his statement, or the way the shotgun man looked surprised when he went down, or the small wet sound Vesta Noir's nose made when you broke it, or the fact that when you finally checked the detonator in the lab later, the technician went very quiet before telling you the device was real, was armed, was functional, had a range of 200 meters, could have detonated at any point during the fight. You sit with that for a long time. You sit with the fact that every second of that 41-minute hell, you were operating in a radius of certain death and never knew how close the math was to going the other way. Some nights, you still hear the little girl's footsteps on the stairs. Some nights, that's enough. Most nights, it isn't.